You know what it's like. You're sat at home and your device is not performing very well, and you're saying the internet speed is crap, and you're doing it wirelessly. But it's nothing to do with the internet speed. I've just sussed out what it is now. So, as you can see, I'm in the Caravan, but I'm going to start with doing it at home because I can test and prove a point. So, done a lot of research. Lots of stuff will appear on the screen. You can have a look at those in a bit and then make your decision based on that. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to, internet providers, hubs, routers, all that type of stuff. This is purely just an end user point of view. Why things work better in certain scenarios and why things don't. So where to begin with this topic? We all know what the problem has been over the years. Internet comes in and you sit with your laptop or your iPad or whatever you're using and the speed is rubbish. Your TV buffers, your internet for your streaming stuff on it buffers, Zoom, video, rubbish. Now the problem has always been that the internet speed coming in is normally okay, right? Depends on what you pay for. Currently I'm up to 1 gig now, fabulous. However, it's the devices that you're using on the end of the internet which gives you problems. So the internet comes in from somebody, an internet service provider, ISP. In my case, it's Virgin. The Virgin package I was on was 350 meg, right, coming into the house. But then, the device I was using, iPads or whatever it happens to be, I'd be lucky if I was getting a third of it. I wasn't getting 350 meg, which is what I was paying for. Now then, what do Virgin do? Well, actually, they provide the service into me, and into me they provide a router point. Now, this router has got the ability to do wireless in it, and then you would think that all the devices will have access to the 350 meg pipe that I had. But that's not the case, is it? Because the wireless abilities with inside the Virgin router are notoriously shit, rubbish, right? So what does that mean? It means that I've then gone to somebody else who specialises in Wi-Fi. So wireless in the house has always been a bit of an issue. So if you imagine you've got a router and you imagine a marble, right? So not only does the signal go up and down, but it also goes left and right and spherical. So it goes all the way around it. And that range has been notoriously crap over the years. So what they did was, and they still do it to this day, they provide repeaters. So you have a box, then you have another little box, which then extends the wireless signal to give you wireless in wherever you're going, the room you're apt to be in. What it does though, is it halves the amount of available Wi-Fi and then produces that for you. So if you had 100 meg to start with, and then you put a repeater on the end, it would normally half it to 50 and then transmit at 50. If you then put another one on the end of that, it would then half it again, and so on and so forth. The modern day answer to that is a mesh system. So what a mesh system doesn't do is do what repeaters do and half the bandwidth that you have between all the repeaters. So you get 350 meg in, you get 350 meg out, no matter which one you go into. The one I'm using also has AI on it. Oh, AI, artificial intelligence. And what that means is that I can, lots of different things is what it means, but what I'm using it for is the ability to move from room to room, and it will switch me seamlessly from one room to another and can maintain my wireless abilities. That's why I'm using it. Now, the company I use is a company called Deco, DECO. Just bought their kit from Amazon. There are plenty of other ones that do this type of scenario. Also, this wireless system that I have will then run me the latest version of wireless. And that brings me to another history lesson. Now, looking at the two columns on the left, now luckily for us, they've moved away from these really complex names, 802.11n for example, to a normal Wi-Fi 4 or 5 or 6. And so let's look at column 3. And so to Virgin Media, my package was 350, I've now gone onto 1 gig, but they've supplied me the new Hub 5. The new Hub 5 will only support up to Wi-Fi 5. Wow, look at the dates. So we're talking about technology that's 9 years old to start with. The Mimo and Mimo bits under important changes I'll talk about on mobiles. And that'll be where the Caravan bit comes in. So, on to real world example time. Just going to spin around here so you can have a look at these. So, I have got iPhone, the latest version of iPhone, latest version of Mac. This iPad is 2018, right? So it's nearly 5 years old. And then I got my works laptop. And then taking this scenario, what happens if I move it all to the Caravan? What does this do? What does cellular Wi-Fi do? Now, all this is in the house here because I can actually show you real time. I will do this with its 4G connection to the internet so you can see what speed we're getting from that. Right, okay, so first of all, let's switch that on. And we'll use Ookla, as in, I use the apps by the way, rather than the internet because it shows less advertising. In this case, none, look. But anyway, so we are connected to our Wi-Fi in the house. And you can see that it's Virgin Media down the bottom that's using it. And I'm using the iPad Pro, which is a 3rd generation model, as I said, 2018. So this is not the very latest Wi-Fi 6. This is going to be a Wi-Fi 5. But anyway, do go. It will connect to Virgin. It's using this Access Studios group as the other end. And as you can see, I'm getting 1 gig into the house, right, which is 1000 meg. But I'll be lucky to see, you're going to lose a bit over Wi-Fi anyway. But as you can see here, average 316. So I'll just do a test again, and you're going to get to about the same 300 something odd. Is it going to break the 300 barrier? Yes, it is. But ain't going to get much higher than that though. Right, so that proves the point. 333. So I'm getting on the iPad. Right, so we'll just ditch that. Now, spinning over to the iPhone, if I do the same sort of thing on here, again via the app. This is a modern, current released iPhone, so I'm expecting to be able to achieve a little bit more because it's a newer product. Now, as you can see, look, it's nearly double the speed already because this one will deliver iPhone 6. Sorry, this one will deliver Wi-Fi 6, whereas my iPad is Wi-Fi 5. So in terms of an upload speed, that is very good. So we'll just do test again. Still Virgin, still Access, same people. And we're getting, go on, hit over the 600, yes it is. So it's double that of the iPad, can you see? So same internet coming in from Virgin, but it's the products that are making a difference. Let's just spin over to the Works laptop. Now from my work point of view, they actually lock this down, so I'm not able to actually load the app. It's the same outfit, Virgin Media they're using, it's a different internet provider. Can you see all the adverts? Nightmare. In fact, that is the, anyway, that's the new Wi-Fi box from Netgear. Well, I say new, it's not that new. But anyway. So let's do a speed test on this. So Works laptop, and this is quite a few years old. and you can see that it is getting 110. So it's not even as good as my iPad, right? So I can tell that this is an older version, probably a Wi-Fi 5, right? And I bet you get that 50 again. No, it's not even doing the same upload speed. So the better the Wi-Fi is on the device you're using, the better download and upload speed. We'll just do test again. So we'll just do go on this. Have another go. And 100, yeah. It's not as quick as the iPad, is it? 111, slower, and you know, you're getting half the speed from an upload point of view. So I would be all that happy about, you know, gig coming in and I'm getting just slightly above 10% of that value in terms of this works laptop. Yeah, not good. So let me get rid of that. Right, so this is a MacBook Pro. Okay, MacBook. Right, we have the Ookla app down at the bottom, and we're connected to iAmart. Different outfit. So remember, I've got 1 gig coming in. What am I going to get on this? 6, 7s, 8s. Remember, I've got 1 gig coming in. Because you're wireless and you're not connected via a cable, it's not going to get you 1 gig. However, 864 is somewhat different to that of my iPad, my work laptop, which was an eighth of that speed, and just over 100 that was, wasn't it? Horrendous. So, do a go, another go again. So anyway, in summary, it is the device that you're using that makes all the difference, whether it be the iPad, the iPhone or whatever. And that makes the difference when it comes to connecting via the Caravan as well, 872.
Not entirely true, because remember I bought the all singing all dancing mesh system, which operates on the 6E bandwidth, which is why that MacBook was delivering those speeds.
So I'll just turn that on. Now when that boots up, it will connect to Sky and it will use its SIM card. Now I'm going to talk about something called Mimo.
Now, I'm not going to read all of this. By all means, pause the video and you can have a read. But there are a few points that we do need to go over. So, MIMO itself does stand for multiple in and multiple out. And second line, each antenna on a device is used for both receiving data and sending data. The more MIMO, the better. And overall, the faster wireless speeds and improved signal strength are always good to have. Now, another major point to note is that MIMO is for both cellular and there is another one for wireless, and they may not be the same.
Okay, so what cellular operators do is that obviously they haven't got the same bandwidth that these Virgin Media and people that are supplying you direct fibre to the house. What they do is they bond the signal that you're getting on your device together. So you've got 2 streams in and 2 streams out. You can tell that this one's got 2 streams. It's got 2 aerials at the bottom. I'll just open those up and you can see that's the aerial port under there. So there's one, and there's one on the other side as well. So that can take 2 signals in at the same time. And that is, you know, we've got 2 bars of 4G on there. If I had the aerial plugged in, it would probably take that to 4 bars. But anyway, so that's on. And then what I'll do then is I will change the wireless setting on this laptop. And it will appear. We'll use the 5G one because we're right next to it. Remember, it gives us better speed, right? So we're connected to that. So shut this down. Open it back up again, and down the bottom there you can see that it's set to Sky this time. I'm just going to use ScotNet instead, and then we'll do a speed test based on what it can see. So this is what you're going to get in the Caravan. The speed test thing again, connected. So we're just seeing down the bottom says Sky. We'll do go on that. Remember, it's 59 it was on the laptop.
Something else to bear in mind, the Wi-Fi box is a generation 1 device, therefore only supplies Wi-Fi 5.
Notice they're getting fairly similar speeds off of the internet off of this, but this is using the cellular speed. That will then show what we're connected to Sky. There we go, connect. Just bring that a little closer so we can have a look. It's an older product, so instead, if you recall, nearly 60 on the MacBook, 17 on this old laptop, on this old iPad. I say old, 4 years old. So there you have it. It is the devices. They need to be up to speed.
And so, from a mobile point of view, we need 3 things. We need Mimo on cellular, the more Mimo the better. We need better Wi-Fi, so again, the more Mimo the better. And also the latest Wi-Fi standards to go along and match with our hardware.
This will only do Wi-Fi 5, right? It will not do anything new, Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 7.
So, but a couple of points to note on this one. So we're looking at the MacBook Pro, the one I just showed you. It was Wi-Fi 6. So in the middle of the screen here, you can see that it says AX at 6 gigahertz. This is the new version. So there's currently a 2.4 bottom of the screen there. Just above that, there's a version 5. And now we're on the version 6. What that means is it's running at a higher gigahertz rate, which means it can deliver faster speeds, double that of normal. But we are talking Wi-Fi, so if you look on the right hand side, you'll see that it's only got 2 MIMO on it. So no matter what router you're connected to, no matter how many aerials it's got, technically it's only going to be using 2 channels. And now that we know about Mimo, let's have a look at the Apple TV. Oh look, yet another 2. So you'd think that the market would be flooded trying to win our business, but that's not the case, is it? And in the mobile world of routers, there are, I'm just going to pick 3 top manufacturers here. So one from MacView, one from Avtex, and one from Netgear. And I would be asking the same questions of all 3 of them. Now obviously first on that list is cost. Now Avtex are the only one that have got a product which to them is new and currently doesn't have a price. The other 2 are around about the £900 mark, so I suspect theirs will be as well. And the biggie is 5G everywhere. Well, if you go to towns and cities, maybe there are, but is there many campsites you can go to? Maybe with the motorhome, but certainly not with the Caravan. So 5G? Not sure. Now we also know about Mimo, so what about cellular Mimo? How many of those do you get? The minimum for 5G is 2, but you can have 4. But what about Wi-Fi Mimo? Most of the manufacturers do 2 on their high-end products anyway. And then on top of that, you've then got the Wi-Fi spec that these things can deliver. Now Wi-Fi 6 is old, 6E's new, 7's going to be the new thing later on this year or early next. So do any of them support that? Also, that you've got a manual aerial. As you know, I have a thing that goes on the back of my cycle carriers, which is a manual job to put the aerial up and plug it into my Netgear box, or something that is fixed to the roof, so nothing for me to do. And last but no means least is the fact we have dual SIM card slots on 2 of the products and only a single SIM card slot on the last one. Something else to bear in mind. Now as MaxView is on the screen, let's talk about that one first. So we're looking at a box that goes inside the Caravan, which is the one that says Roam 5G, and as you can see has the 2 Wi-Fi antennas. Behind that is the omnidirectional aerials that fit on the roof. Now this one does have 4x4 Mimo, so that's good, as apparently you need 4 aerials to achieve full 5G speed, and meets my requirement for not having to manually install an aerial. However, what it doesn't say, and I've had to find out via their Facebook contact us bit, is that it only supports Wi-Fi 5. And so moving on to Avtex. Now we have to have a degree of Sherlock Holmes about this, because there's hardly any information from any manuals whatsoever, including the cost. Now it's due out sometime later on this year, but they haven't said when. So looking at that, it is another one that has dual SIM cards in it. Still not convinced about the dual SIM cards. I mean, who's going to provide 2 SIM cards and pay 2 monthly fees to 2 cellular operators, hoping one's going to be good? And also bear in mind, I'm going to be using this for streaming, so you want an awful lot of data as well. And so to the Sherlock Holmes bit. So this is the only features that we can see on it. The third one there says low profile omnidirectional Mimo antenna. Doesn't tell you how many. Is that 2 or is that 4? And under router there, the fourth one down says operates on both the 2.4 and 5G, so therefore it doesn't do 6 or 6E. So let's move on to the Netgear products, as there are 2 of them. This one's the M6 Pro, this one's 900 quid and the latest. There is also an M6 product. These have just 2 Mimos, these have just 1 single SIM card. The big difference is that this one does 2.5 gig, you're not going to need those sort of speeds in a Caravan, but it also delivers Wi-Fi 6E. Now remember, you've got to invest in a product that supports 6E. Now the other one supports version 6, and that has the main advantage that it's £200 cheaper than the current model. So as you can see, I'm editing in the Caravan. Well, actually I'm in the Caravan, but you can't see I'm editing by it. That's what I am doing. So what is it that I'm thinking that I'm going to go with regard to this bloody internet solution? Yep, sorry about the different background here. I'm at home. We'll come back to the on-site on the Caravan and the ending in a minute. So you've seen earlier in the video me doing a test from a Wi-Fi point of view with my 4 devices. Typically all 4 of those devices I'll be using either on site for doing working, or uploading or editing YouTube videos and things of that nature. So it is quite crucial that the Wi-Fi 6 and 6E is the kitty I'm after. Neither the MaxView or the Avtex do Wi-Fi 6, so I'm afraid at £900 they're out of the equation, which leaves us onto the Netgear boxes. Do I go with the Wi-Fi 6 one, or do I go for the M6 Pro, which is the 6E? So I'm thinking that's probably the route we're going to have to stick with. Now back to that ending. We're probably going to stick with the same Sky rollover monthly data allowance that we get on the SIM card anyway. We're actually on our last ever visit into a site in this Caravan, but whilst editing, this happened. So as you just saw, great place to go for a run. So, and also there's a little forestry type thing we're walking around now.
Sorry to interrupt you, Steve.
What?
I've just had a phone call.
Yeah?
The new van.
Is it here?
It's arrived.
Yes.
Well, here I am at the Caravan dealership, and if you had to measure excitement, say on a 0 to 10, this would have to be a 10. I'm just so excited. She's here. I'm not coming to collect her today. I am just coming to point out where I want some modifications done, which has been done by the dealer. See you later.
I wonder why it is that we say she for a Caravan. Please like, subscribe and hit the little bell.